I'm Andrew Rice.
I'm Luke Summerhays.
I'm James J. Miles.
And I'm Muss.
And you're listening to Monster Mash.
And on this week's episode, it's the Volvidon.
Lick my front, lick my back, lick my pussy and my crack. Lick it right, lick it good, lick it just like you should.
I didn't expect that.
They played the Monster Mash.
The Monster Mash.
It was a graveyard smash.
They played the mash.
It caught on in a flash.
They played the mash.
They played the...
Fanged beasts with thick red carapaces that are resistant to lava. Their rounded bodies are perfect for rolling across hot surfaces, and their long tongues are ideal for capturing insect prey. Their saliva emits a paralysing toxin that should be avoided.
Should avoid this monster more like...
Trial by fire. Torrents most dire. The dead beckon atop their pyre. Austere mountains, devoid of reason and laws. A rounded mass descends, made of fangs and claws. Tumbling, closer and closer. And when it unfurls, your time will be over.
I hate this monster. For a multitude of reasons, I hate this monster.
Really? You had never made that clear to us before, sir.
Yeah, was I particularly anti-Volvidon on the original episode, Luke?
Oh, yes.
You must have been, surely.
Yeah, you were not keen.
Yeah, I think I'm even less keen than I was then.
Really?
Yeah. So, I mean, I've got a lot of problems with the monster, which we'll talk about, like, in terms of what it does. We'll talk about it as we go through it. But speaking about the monster's appearance in Rise, they've made him harder, right?
Have they?
I don't think he's harder. He's probably a bit tougher. I think he takes a bit more damage, but
Like, I
so he's only harder,
distinctly
really.
feel that he's almost a step above, like, the Arzuris and the Lagombi, which he's meant to be on the same level as. Like,
I can definitely agree that he is a step above, but I think he's been that for a little while. I don't think that's necessarily...
Yeah, I think he's always been a level higher than those two.
Yeah.
I don't know, I've always thought he was meant to be on the same tier as them, but maybe that's where I'm going wrong here. But he just feels even more more frustrating in this game than he did in past installments. He seems to hop about a lot more often.
He's always definitely been the toughest of the beasts.
The beast trio.
The basic beasts.
Basic bitch. So yeah, I just as a concept, this monster is just disgusting, right? So, like, the big old tongue, that's check one on the Moyle shit list, because I've got a real thing against tongues. Don't like them at all. Volvidon, it does it a lot. It also just shits all over you, which is check two in the Moyle shit list.
Just to confirm, not into being
shat on. No.
God, you're such a prude.
It is, isn't it?
Look,
I like missionary position sexual intercourse with a woman. Only marriage,
Obviously,
of course.
Not with any tongues.
no tongues, no shite, none of that. Oh dear me.
To be fair, no shite's not a terrible rule to have. Yeah. I can't argue with that one.
Yeah, even I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah, and like Volvidon, especially in Rise, kind of go back to how they've kind of, like, it feels like to me at least, they've souped them up a little bit in Rise. It just moves about a lot. It's got the same problem as Lagombi does, where I barely ever use ranged weapons at all. I think I dabbled very briefly with the heavy bowgun in World, but that's about it. So like using, especially when I've been using things like the greatsword, which require, and you enjoy monsters that maybe don't move about as much as the likes of Volvidon, just really fucks me off. Just not a fan. I was not happy to see this guy come back. Not a fan at all. I think we might even have been watching it live together, and I'm sure there was comments made about it when that guy turned up. Just anger. But this is your first exposure to Volvidon, Muss, so do you feel differently?
I mean, I don't feel as bad about him as you, but I don't think that's hard. So, I mean, obviously, yeah, I don't have any reference point for this fella, but it's certainly, as a lot of the beast wyverns are, quite a mobile creature, and it's not the first monster you'll necessarily face that has, paralysis, but it can paralyze you, which obviously kind of buggers your ability to move around and keep up with it at times. So it's definitely a learning curve. I think it's a bit more of a skill check. I wouldn't say. Sorry, what was that?
Paralysis? Is it not the first one with paralysis?
Well, Kezu can paralyze you, can't it? Or can it not?
Is Kezu before it?
Oh, not done Kezu yet.
Wait, yeah, we haven't covered Kezu yet, have we?
Yeah, I think Kez is quite late in this game.
Okay. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
I can't remember.
he might be the first paralysis monster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's definitely accurate with it as well, like his little
Well,
paralysis
if you were playing online, then Jay might have just made you skip it.
That is a very Jack move.
We're actually doing Volvidon pretty late as well, because he would have come before Agnesom and Royal Ludroth. We just didn't want to do Lagombi, Volvidon, and
Right.
Azeroth all in a row.
Yeah, so I mean, he's a teacher, and he's got a big skill check about him, which I can respect more than the other monster you raised there, which was Lagombi, which I don't know, it just is a whole bunch of not very much to me, other than occasionally it hits you with a snowball. Whereas Volvidon, I think, yeah, it's an annoying monster, but I feel like it's one I can gain a kind of begrudging level of respect for, because I know it's really teaching me quite well, not just about the status effect, but that there's going to be worse, or maybe there will be worse, more agile monsters, and they're going to have things like status effects or moves that are going to hit a bit harder. So
And there's nothing worse than
unlike
Volvidon.
Lagombi, nothing worse than what, his shit? Is that what you're going to say?
Nothing worse than a Volvidon. Just full stop.
Well, I meant mechanic. Well, in terms of difficulty, but the its signature move, it's shit, shall we say? I suppose I'm not like. I find that weird because like most status effects in this game will go away after a while, other than things like poison, I suppose. But that one you have to spray yourself, and I thought,
No, it does go away.
does it go away?
Yeah.
Does it just
It
take
does.
ages?
I think it just feels
Takes
like
about-
longer because
Oh, right.
you're
I
watching
think
your
it's
items
about the
which
same
go
as how
away.
long poison takes to fade away
Well,
naturally.
but maybe it's because you don't usually let the others fade away naturally.
I do, but
Not
It's-
poison. Everything else I kind of do. But
I generally let poison
I
as well,
think-
unless it's
Yeah.
toxic.
I'm not like a huge fan of its stinky move, because thematically, does it make sense that you can't use items because someone has pooed on you or
I think
farted
it's-
on you?
Yeah,
The
it's so
items-
disgusted.
yeah,
It's
you
very
don't
Is
wanna
that what it's
eat.
meant to be? Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
yeah, it's gross, so you don't want to eat it. I think is the idea.
Yeah,
So
Well, like-
I guess.
If you were sat in a toilet that stank because someone had been there before you, you're not going to want to like eat your lunch.
Oh, whereas normally I go straight to the toilet to eat my lunch, so that makes sense.
Oh, I'm yeah. You're making my point further. You only want to eat your lunch in any toilet.
But
Is
like,
that your point? Because that was the weirdest way to make that point you possibly could
it did come across like you were saying if the toilet smelled a bit nicer, I'd maybe eat my lunch there.
Well, I'm thinking of a bathroom which is both the toilet and the bath.
I don't eat any food in rooms that are for washing or shitting.
I do sometimes eat my dinner in the bath.
I eat when I'm sitting on the toilet. I think it's just convenient, you know. You just speeding up.
In one hole, straight out the other.
There we go.
Oh no.
I knew it was coming.
Have you never just like had a nice luxurious bubble bath, put a movie on your laptop, and eaten your dinner?
No,
Oh, mate,
never.
you haven't lived.
Obviously.
Okay, so but if it stinks, if something stinks so badly that you couldn't bear to eat, surely it would stink so badly that like you basically can't fight either. Like that's my thing with it, I suppose. Like if it's that bad, surely you're just going to be gagging all the time because it's like disgusting.
It's true.
Well, maybe
Yeah,
it's
I find
just
it a
it
little
makes
bit
your
weird.
potion stink, right?
Take it up with Capcom, mate. Take it up.
It is a
Oh, I
weird
will.
status effect, and I think Volvidon is the only monster in Rise that does it. There are other monsters that do it, which I kind of hope to turn up.
Can Basarios do it a bit?
No, I don't think it's a Bizarrios one.
No,
Because I know it can do other gases, but yeah.
Basarios does sleep, fire, and poison with its little
Yep.
puffs.
Okay.
The only other monster I can think of that does it is Congalala.
Yeah.
Doesn't Gan?
Who?
Gan?
Urigan.
have to- I know Urigan does. I don't think
No,
so.
I think Urigan's
Okay.
just fire and maybe sleep as well.
He definitely does sleep.
Yeah,
as well,
kind of built from.
Or was that Redderburn? Oh, I don't know. Now we're just naming monsters.
Yeah, I've never been a fan of this status effect. Not because it's doesn't make sense to me, just because it takes me out of the zone of being in Monster Hunter. It's like, oh, it's a poop monster, gross. Whereas usually I'm
Right.
like, oh, these majestic creatures, this awesome action, and I'm like, okay, cool, poop, very funny. But that I think it's a Japanese sense of humor thing. Like, people are really into toilet humor here, like to an irritating degree.
I just immediately think
Need
of
to be like that
I'm-
over here as well. To be fair,
immediately think
but
of
it's-
Sukamon from Digimon, right?
Digimon.
Yeah. But yeah, that annoyed me as a kid watching Digimon too. Because I used to be super into Digimon and take it real seriously, and then it's like,
You were
oh,
very-
they pooped in the car, so funny.
You're a real highbrow child.
Just specifically wasn't into poop jokes. Don't know why.
I mean, like in the natural world, I'm sure there are plenty of examples of creatures that do disgusting things to get away from their predators.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Right. So it's not so much that there is a poop effect in this game. I think that bothers me. But like you were saying, Luke, notwithstanding the thematics of it, I was talking in the Roggy episode about how happy I was with the rate of decay of your health that poison as a status effect gives you.
Right,
And
yeah.
what this status effect does is it's just like, oh, okay, I guess I'll just put on some deodorant and then it's gone, like whatever. And it's not like deodorant's difficult to apply or anything. It just feels like busy work. And I think that's on top of the thematics, just makes it
If you don't have the deodorant, then it could be like, it adds an element of like, oh man, I really don't want to get damaged for the next bit because I can't heal, sort of thing. So I can kind of see what they were going for. But yeah, I don't really think it works.
It's kind of like speaking about like monsters, animals rather that do it. It's kind of like a skunk, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Not
And just to confirm, it's Steel Urigan that does it. So that's why
never
I thought
fought that
Urigan.
monster. So yeah,
There we go.
not that I'm saying Volvidon looks like a skunk. It is quite clearly a anteater.
Well, that's why it's annoying for me, because it's almost a monster I really like. Because I do like anteaters and armadillos and like Ankylosaurus and stuff. So if it had leaned into all of that without pooping all the time, I'd kind of like this monster. And then like the bouncing thing is really unique. There's no other monster that attacks you like Sonic the Hedgehog like that. You know, it would almost be kind of a cool one. But yeah, the pooping thing just really puts me off it. The tongue doesn't bother me as much as it does you.
Shitting and farting everywhere.
Yeah. It's like,
yeah.
I often think, I love dogs, right? And I often think, oh man, I can't wait to have a house where I can have a dog. But I've never been like the main person taking care of a pet before. apart from a rabbit, and they do like those tiny little poos that aren't really that much of a problem. It's like, I'm gonna have to, on some level, if I get a pet, deal with its shit.
Touch poop.
I don't want to have kids either. I don't want to deal with poop.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm really happy that I live in a century where I don't have to deal with poop, ever. It just goes down a tube and it's gone, and it's not my problem.
What way to put that?
Damn straight.
Preach.
That's exactly how I feel about the idea of owning an animal, so I get it.
Yeah.
So
It's a good point though, like about you were saying, Luke, Ankylosaurus, which isn't a dinosaur I thought of making the comparison to Volvidon 2, but they do have that rugged carapace, armor that is, as you say, it's pretty cool. And I think it's the first monster that you would have thought that's gonna, I don't know, maybe this is more of a Viserios thing, but that you're gonna have attacks not hit cleanly because it's armored. Is that true, or is that just not?
I don't remember bouncing
I
much,
wouldn't
but
have
it
said
does
bouncing,
feel
but
like you
yeah,
have to
that's
attack it
what
at the
I'm
front.
Hmm.
But I'm sure you're doing more damage on the belly. So I think
Yeah,
it is
it does-
designed.
Although I do tend to find, and maybe this is just an experience thing, but I don't feel we bounce as much these days as we used to. Like, I swear I remember bouncing a lot more back in like Try and 3U and stuff, whereas it doesn't feel like an issue now. Maybe it's because of the infinite free whetstones, or
I think that's a big
I don't
factor,
know,
and
but-
probably your weapons have changed. Oh, do you change weapon much? I can't remember.
Oh, I try to change weapons every
There's
game, but I mean,
still monsters that's a
even back with the
factor
hammer
on.
and stuff, I remember bouncing more.
I
Like-
definitely have bounced in this game, but yeah, I
Like,
think
it's-
also we raced to like pretty decent gear pretty quickly in this one. So I spent a lot of my time fighting monsters with sharpness higher than they were necessarily designed for.
It's probably more of a
Sure.
the more work towards like the grey numbers popping up, like non-effective damage as opposed to your orange numbers. That's more of the difference now than just bouncing, right? Because like bouncing was a way to show you that don't attack this bit of the monster, you're not going to get good damage.
Yeah,
here.
yeah,
Whereas
yeah.
now you've actually got numbers on screen to tell you that.
And Viserios is one of those monsters where it's very noticeable when you are getting stuck in and doing. Sorry, not Viserios. Volvidon. I mean, Viserios as well. But it's very noticeable when you get in the greys and the contrast between that and the numbers you get from the oranges on this one, I think.
Ironically, we probably will be speaking about bouncing on next week's episode.
Expect so.
So, obviously we've spoken about the design inspirations being, Anteater, but any name inspirations for the Volvidon, Lucky Boy?
Yes, and for whatever stupid reason I've closed the window, so give me a second.
Hooray!
So yeah, this one, there was actually like, it was in the Monster Hunter 3U Capcom Unity design, so we know exactly where the name comes from.
Ah, sweet.
Volvidon was conceived by combining the word revolve and adding the dinosaur-like suffix idon. We didn't go with odon because that suffix means tooth, and because it'd sound way too much like Volvo, and it's not cool to beat up on a car.
Tell that to Ryu.
Wait, what about Street Fighter?
You are 100% reusing old bants from last time we did this monster.
No! Oh no! We fell into your trap.
Why would you bring it up again if you don't want us to tell the same shit joke?
Although, like, Capcom did make Street Fighter, so surely they do think it's cool to beat up a
Well,
car.
that's the problem.
It's probably
that's the confusing
probably
part.
is a genuine joke they're making on that part.
Yeah, an internal
Yeah.
joke, yeah.
Yeah, fuck you, Capcom, you pricks.
Stop trying to be
And then-
funny. That's our job. We don't do very well.
The Japanese name is Ranguro Tura, and I messaged my friend, and Takehiro's actually gotten back to me for this one.
Oh.
He says, so he searched the Japanese internet, so which I was having difficulty doing.
Wait, sorry, are you not allowed on the Japanese internet? Is this top secret?
No, I'm just not good at reading Japanese. It comes from the French for tongue and the Latin for wheel, because it spins like a wheel.
Oh, it's pretty cool.
So it's a
Does it
wheel
spin like a
o'
wheel?
tongues. It rolls up in a ball.
I don't-
Doesn't really
Yeah.
roll at you. It
Yeah,
bounces
which is
more.
not a wheel. Balls are not wheels.
He does kind of.
Very
He does
You
different.
look
kind
at them
of.
from the side there.
He does kind of spin before doing his little jumps, though, right? It is kind of like
Yeah.
again Sonic, right, doing his spin jumps.
Yeah.
So Muss,
Hello.
Muss, yes. Now you know I'm not a fan of Volvidon, right? Mm-hmm. How do you think Volvidon could be made, perhaps, in some ways, even more repulsive?
What in terms of making you like him even less?
Yeah.
Are you saying his tongue's not long enough?
Well, you could
2 tongues like a snake.
give him a Santa hat and call him Christmas Volvidon, which is a real thing that Capcom did.
That was a very strange segue. But
I kind
okay,
of knew where he
Christmas
was going,
Volvidon.
but I still think it's a weird segue.
Tell me about Christmas Volvidon, Jay.
So it's a Volvidon that wears a Santa hat. I don't know what more you want me to go on than that.
I mean, you brought it up, mate. So I assume
It turned up. It came up in a Monster Hunter Explore, I want to say, which is like one of the weird mobile. I think it's Japan only, or
Oh, right. So this isn't like a thing that I should expect to happen in Rise.
I bloody well hope not. I do not want having Christmas being ruined by Volvidon turning up.
Oh yeah, you don't get coal when Volvidon Santa's around. I tell you that. If you've been naughty,
Just get shat on.
you just get shot. I just thought there was more depth to the story than it's got a Santa hat, because you were like, how can we make him more disgusting? I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, there's nothing that spoils more than Christmas.
Well, it's more that
Fucking
it's more that
hate
Volvidon is ruining Christmas. Like he's like my own personal Grinch. Andy logs onto Monster Hunter, ready to podcast. He's had a refreshing morning shower and a hearty breakfast. But he spies something on the horizon, and his heart fills with dread. It's a big old monster with a big old forehead. For once, he does not faint as he dodges away. But all is for naught. Do not fucking interrupt me. But all is... But all is for naught, he realises with dismay. But what should land on top of him with a resounding thud but a massive stinky clod of fresh goopy mud? I know for a fact this monster hates the ice planet of Hoth. Next time we go toe to toe with the mighty Baroth. So so join us for that one.
I love it. You're like,
I can't
do
remember.
not fucking
Did that
interrupt
make
me.
it into the original?
And then that's
Oh
the
yeah,
ending.
that's in the Ludroth one. Don't you worry.
Right.
Oh, fantastic.
Yep. So yeah, join us for that one next week. Until then,
If you're gonna rhyme breakfast and podcast, you need to say them the same way.
what do you mean?
You were like,
Just
you
say
said like
breakfast
breakfast
rather than
podcast. You need to say like breakfast.
Yeah, I didn't. It was, yeah, I know. Yeah, well,
Oh, so was that podcast? Was that poem about the Baroth, or was it about the nature of fatherhood?
you have to keep that in the other part now.
The bit that comes after this. Yeah.
We-
Enjoy that joke
we
coming up.
always in the ending do a reference to a joke that they haven't heard yet. Like every time.
It's a little tease. It's a little tease to get you excited for the shite we're about to speak in the hunt part of the cast. But yeah, if they want to get more little teases and listen to more of our nonsense, where can we be found, Luke?
You can find the podcast on Twitter at Monster Mash Pod. Please do follow and get in touch. Let us know you're listening. We're also on Facebook, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Everywhere where podcasts hang about, you can find us by searching Monster Mash Podcast. And yeah, tell people to listen or don't. I don't care. I think actually life is better lived without an audience. I think our generation was sort of told that we have to be famous and the centre of attention. I think it's kind of fucked our brains. So I'm kind of glad we don't have any listeners.
Just reverse psychology.
I don't know. It's more like an existential breakdown.
Well, I really enjoyed the bit where you where podcasts can be found as if they're all hanging out like some cool clique.
He said that many times before.
Have I?
No, he has.
Oh yeah. I don't know. I've only just
It's
heard
just what
that it sounds
podcasts
like they're
say,
all hanging out together.
And I think I literally
never
did
heard
say hanging out on
them
this
hanging
one.
out.
Yeah, I think I said hanging out, which was a bit weird.
Oh, right.
Yeah. It definitely sounded like.
Well, I'll tell you what it is. It's because
jazz club.
I'm desperately trying not to say wherever you get your pods. Because I've heard that too many times and it makes me want to vomit.
Well, you've said it now, so
I'm
that's
going
it.
to go commit seppuku.
I mean, just vomit. You don't need to commit seppuku.
While Luke's killing himself, what can they tweet at Handyman949, Muss?
Have you ever had a Monster Hunter game ruined by the spirit of festivity and giving, such as Christmas? If you have, let Andy know. And if it's a different festival, let him know. Let him know. How have Capcom ruined Monster Hunter for you through the spirit of joy and Christmas?
I was trying to think of a joke I could make with a different festival, but everything I thought of sounded racist.
I was going to say the Kwanzaa Kezu.
Yep.
Stick with the Kwanzaa Kezu.
I guess you could pick on Thanksgiving. That'd be alright, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that's true.
Fair.
Thanksgiving is pretty
that's
fucked
definitely
already.
punching up, isn't it?
There probably is a Thanksgiving Monster Hunter crossover, you know that.
There probably is like a Thanksgiving...
Turkey, a turkey Lagombi.
A turkey Lagombi? What, a turkey
Yep.
Lagombi?
Yankutku! It would have been a Yankutku, you donkey.
Turkey Lagombi?
Yep, I'll stick with
Fuck
it.
it, we're...
Alright, you viewers, scratch what I just said. Just in block capitals, message Andy with Turkey Lagombi!
Right, we're off the deep end. Turn this podcast off now while you still can, and we'll catch you next time.
Because we record them in twos all the time now, it's like they alternate between ones where our brains are kind of working and then ones where we go insane. The second one we record always ends up fucking weird.
Yeah, catch you next time.
Peace.
Goodbye.
I won't catch you next time. They're not coming back.
After that.
Let's get cracking.
I cannot catch a break. I was making my way through the plains, and when I started hearing this boingy 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 noise, is that the noise Volvidons make?
That's a noise a Tigger makes. And the sad thing is, there's two Volvidon, and the wonderful thing about Tiggers is he's the only one.
Oh, sweet Tiggerlore going on this morning. Love it.
Do you reckon he ever gets sad? Like, is his energy and his vibes in Winnie the Pooh, is it all just a facade? Because actually, he's the only one.
Nah, mate, he loves it.
You think he's authentically happy all the time?
Oh, 100%. He's too simple to be anything.
Is there not like a
that.
theory of the characters in Winnie the Pooh are all like based off the effects of different drugs?
Oh, I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of theories.
There's a theory like
for
that
everything.
for everything, because no one can just let children's things be fun, can they? Oh, Ash was in a coma and he wished for a...
What was this Pokemon Deep Lore?
Oh, it's some TV tropes bollocks like it all is.
I genuinely don't think I've ever heard you this angry about anything ever.
Because it's like, you're not clever, shut up.
This is genuine rage.
Yeah, I know. I didn't think Luke was able to be so angry about things. This is
It's like when you're studying poems at school in English, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like,
Yeah.
they're telling you all this bullshit deep what it's actually about stuff. And it's just not. Like, we
Yeah.
had this one poem in our textbook when we were studying English in, I think it was in like GCSE level, right? And the poem's about Batman. And my auntie's an English teacher.
About Batman.
Yeah. Right, no, let me
That
finish.
sounds way better than any poem I got to read.
Right, so I'm talking to my auntie about it, and I'm telling her, like, yeah, well, it's about when he heard that they were going to do a new Batman movie and it wasn't going to have Robin, and the artist was like, that's a bit lame, I'm going to write a poem about how sad Batman. He's like, no, it's not, it's about fatherhood and your parents moving out. I was like, no, you don't understand. I've been and seen this poet live, and he told me that's what it's about. It's about Batman. Like,
Stuff of the author.
Stuff is just about what it's about.
I enjoyed that one, thank you. If I had to read for the death, they offer so fucking much in uni. Oh.
Death of the Author is just how you justify liking things that racist cunts wrote.
That's one way to put it.
I don't even know what I'm angry about. I don't even care.
It's all started off.
Very angry.
It's all started off. I heard Winnie the Pooh's based on the wrong different drugs.
Like,
Yeah, this is all your fault,
That's
Jay.
that's not even an example of one of the ones I don't like, because maybe it is. And then the Ash in a Coma one, I'm not even that bothered by.
I don't even know what this one is. Like, what? Like, you're gonna have
it's
this.
just-
by it. None of us are even aware of.
At the end of the first episode of anime, when he gets all attacked by those Spearows or whatever, people say that the whole rest of the series he's in a coma, and that's why the tone is so much lighter in every other episode than it is in that one, because he's just imagining a nice world where him and his Pokemon cat.
I mean, was it
It's
particularly
that's why he
heavy?
doesn't-
like people with.
It's
I
because
mean,
he doesn't
this is
age for 20
theories
years,
about
right?
Anything, right?
Yeah, that's what annoys me. It's just
I
like
mean, that's because it's a cartoon. Like, fucking
the other
Simpsons
one is
haven't
always
aged in
that
30 years.
he saw
Oh,
Ho-Oh and wished that he could be a trainer for the rest, like he could be a young boy on a Pokemon journey forever, and that's why he doesn't age.
go on, Andy. When he's a young boy.
What?
When I was a young boy, my father was not around, so Professor Oak gave me a Pokemon.
Oh, that's not where I thought you were going with that.
He asked me, "Are you a boy or a girl?"
I love when Muss does these because he cannot keep to a tune when he changes the words.
That's my gimmick. That's my gimmick.
I had to see My Chemical Romance live.
You had to.
Yeah.
Is this what turned you
Had
into
to
such
be
an
done.
edgelord?
Well, I wanted a good. It was at Tea in the Park, and I wanted a good spot for Foo Fighters. And yeah, My Chemical Romance were on 2 acts before Foo Fighters.
And you actually really loved it.
You really did want a good
Thought,
spot.
I did want a good spot. I got a
this
good
is it.
spot. I also saw Pulp. Pulp were quite good.
Oh yeah, let's all meet up in the year 2000.
Yeah. That's busted.
yeah, 3,000.
You're thinking of the year 3000.
I know.
Because not much has changed. They live underwater.
It was the same day that the
Hashtag Science Trial.
last issue of the News of the World released, and Jarvis Cocker went on stage and wiped his arse with it.
Nice.
Excellent.
So that's not the thing that happened.
Did it leave a mark?
What?
Do you think he deliberately didn't wipe properly prior to the show
That's what I'm
to
wondering.
make
yeah.
sure that he had a shitty ass?
Or
News
did
of
he
the
have
World.
enough hubris to think it would be fine? There wasn't going to be any
He
problem.
didn't actually
And then-
drop his trousers, like rub his eyes.
Andy! What's
A
wrong
tale of
with you?
hubris. Oh, speaking of poo, here it comes.
No, he's just tired.
Oh no.
No, just add a little wiggle.
Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle.
What is- You know the hunt's gone on too long. We're actually speaking about the monster.
Yeah.
I mean, or we just went some really weird places with that conversation. There's just no way to recover from it.
Even I can't bounce back from this one.
I went on a rant that even I don't understand.
Gotta trap this guy. Get him to come over here.
It's just a fucking dog. Oh no, Andy's over there.
Yeah.
Andy's playing with the puppies.
Yeah. And he has fucked the trap as well because he's born.
Yeah,
away
you
now.
made
I
it
did
limp
not
up.
fuck the trap.
You did. You tapped it till it left.
Volvidon. I didn't know what was happening. There was an issue with fucking disc.
They're fucking what's
You were replying to everything else we were saying.
Just the tone of the way Andy answered that question.
The issue with Discord is that Andy was on it.
Can use your trap then.
They were-
We were talking about because I own a trap.
There you go. Because Volvidon's running off again.
I don't have a trap, obviously. That'd be ridiculous.